Alrighty then. Sean, Katie, Sean. Day 23 happened. Another trailer that was announced. There was a whole bunch of stuff announced. There was a picture of the Thunderbolts. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
That looked cool. But one of the other things that we already knew was happening, a trailer has been released.
Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion. Starring Nick Fury. What's his name? Samuel L. Jackson. I don't know Samuel L. Jackson's name. And the Skrulls. Yeah, let's just watch. See what we can come up with. See if we can figure out what's going to happen. Remember when I correctly predicted the entirety of...
Didn't start.
Do you remember when I predicted the entirety of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness?
No.
I wonder if this will be like that. Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
Don't tell me that I didn't.
Didn't.
Did I predict that Mr. Fantastic was going to be in it?
I think everyone did.
Oh! You liar. In the car there, I said, I'm going to predict... I can't remember what my reasoning was, but I said, I'm pretty certain there's going to be a version of Mr. Fantastic.
Wasn't there loads of reports that there was going to be a version of Mr. Fantastic?
I'm not talking to you anymore.
There was also loads of reports, like, because...
I'm not talking to you anymore.
I remember because there was stuff like,
I'm
oh,
just
what
gonna play
if
this.
there's going to be, like, the Human Torch and it's Chris Evans?
I'm just going to play this. I'm not talking to you anymore.
So much, man.
I'm playing the video in 3.
Oh.
When was the last time we saw Nick Fury? He was with the Skrulls, wasn't he? Was he in space?
Yeah, it was in End of WandaVision, wasn't it?
For years, you've been avoiding Earth. But I have called for your help plenty of other times, and you've been pretty content to let those calls go straight to voicemail.
Yeah, she is.
What was I?
Well, this is different. How much do you know about your security detail?
What do you mean, how much do I know about
Oh.
it?
Oh.
Fury, we gotta be very careful now.
There he is. Ah!
You're in no shape for this fight
Maybe
that
a
lies
Coleman, is
before
it?
us.
Yeah.
She's a great actress.
This is just the beginning.
This is
Emilia
my
Clarke.
war alone. And I'm the last person standing between them and what they really want. And what is that?
Ooh. That's cool. 2023. Thank you for that, Disney.
I know, I love how they announce stuff and it's like ages.
Yeah.
So
Coming
they
in.
start, like when they announced like Phase 6 or whatever, they were like, oh yeah.
Coming in 2027.
And you know.
Avengers, the Kang Dynasty. So, I don't know what more to say about this other than it feels like it's just going to be the Secret Invasion storyline where there's a bunch of Skrulls who break off from the Skrull Empire.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and they're secretly invading Earth.
Yeah, going
Hence
into
the title.
going into positions of prominence, and then the Skrulls tell Nick Fury that this is happening. He comes back and he's like, right, we've got to start figuring out who everyone is.
I feel like this is going to be such a mind-boggling experience to watch because you're going to be like, oh, is that? Can we trust that person? Can we not? Like, is that who we think it is?
Yeah.
Is that really Rhodey? Who knows?
Who knows? Olivia Colman.
Olivia Colman's going to be a bad guy.
Yeah.
I like the fact that he's just like, you can see his eye.
Yeah.
There's no patch.
So it calls into question where this is headed, because look at that, I'd never even... Are they Skrulls?
Must be.
Or are these...
Or are these the people that the Skrulls have turned into?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, they've got to keep them alive. They just turned them into vegetables. Because by the... Ben Mendelsohn is on Nick Fury's side.
Mhm.
Because Nick Fury helped him in Captain Marvel,
Yeah.
didn't he?
Well, he was on Earth in place of Nick Fury, wasn't he? He was posing as Nick Fury.
Yeah.
We saw that at the end of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So he must have. Surely it must have been through him that he noticed it, right?
Yeah. And what's his name again? Ross. Everett Ross.
Everett Ross.
So it's going to be, because another project that we know is happening is the Armor Wars with
Yeah.
Rhodey. We know he's going to be in his own little project. So I wonder when this is set, because they could essentially rewrite quite a lot of stuff with this.
Like what?
Well, say if they had things like Skrull was playing just certain characters, you could have things like Everett Ross being a Skrull. You know, depending on which characters are who. That's essentially what they did with the original storyline when it happened. Certain characters were just written out. Basically, when everything that they'd just done over the last 2 months wasn't them because it was a Skrull that was doing it.
Yeah.
Just depends, doesn't it?
That was you got a little hint of that in Spider-Man,
Yeah.
in the second Spider-Man, because you were like, oh, Nick Fury, Maria Hill, it's them, and then all of a sudden it wasn't, and you were like, oh, okay. I mean, it was cool and it was shocking, but it's gonna be interesting to see how they use it.
So,
It's a big security detail.
is Rhodey the president? He's got the American flag. He's got a big security detail. When we see him here, don't get me, you know, that looks like a presidential walk.
I don't know.
So is he a president? Is he a what are the underlings of the president called? Senators? Something like
No, I
that.
don't know.
And it would make sense for someone like Rhodey to be a senator because he kind of fought on the front lines for Earth, didn't he? So there's not very many people who can say,
They're as qualified.
yeah. But then that also essentially goes, well, he's in a really good position to be a Skrull, isn't he?
He doesn't seem to. He seems to be walking okay. Didn't he like break his back and needs that big walking game?
Yeah.
Wonder if that'll be continued or if he's just okay now.
Well, it was permanently paralysed, wasn't he?
I think so, but Tony had created that.
He had those things, but he had to wear them forever because he was permanently paralysed.
I wonder if that's something that they're going to use though, like tells to identify if this person's really who they say they are. You know,
Yeah.
like Nick Fury, is it his eye? Like, are they gonna?
I think that'll probably be what this entire show will be. We'll just be sat
Yeah.
there going,
Do they have it like
Who's a
Rhodey?
Skrull?
For me, if it was Rhodey and he's still using like the walking aid, I'll call it, that could be a good way of knowing. Like, oh, he hasn't got it on. Like they could use it. They could check and they're like, okay, he hasn't
that
got it
might
on.
be like a way of them proving that he's not Rhodey.
That's what I mean, though.
Like Nick Fury will just he'll have them on and he's using them, but then Nick Fury will like hit them or something and break them, and then he'll still be standing and it'll be like,
yeah.
so we know it's not.
Or like
Rhodey.
Nick Fury with his eye might start wearing his patch again, and there might be like two of him, and might take it off and be like, I have. One of them might not have it, have like the affected eye. The other one might.
Yeah, it's basically going to be like Guess Who, isn't it?
It's gonna be like that typical trope where there's two people and you're like, which one do I shoot?
Which one do I shoot?
It's like,
Yeah. I'm glad to see Kobe Smulders back though. I like her.
Emilia Clarke's in it.
I know. Has she not been in Marvel before?
No, she was announced to be in this. To be fair, but I kind of forgot that she was announced in it.
What has she been in? That was like a Marvel film then.
She hasn't. She was in Star Wars.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Star Wars. She was in Solo.
That's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Ugh. So yeah, I wonder if Ben Mendelsohn catches on that this invasion's happening and he sends for Nick Fury.
Yeah, because at the minute Nick Fury's in
Space. He's with the Skrulls, isn't he?
yeah, and yeah, because they kind of who else? Monica Rambeau is supposed to be in this, isn't she? Is she?
Monica Rambeau.
Is that what her name is? Monica from.
She's dead at this point, isn't she?
That's Maria.
A mother.
No, Monica's.
Oh, the one from One Division.
One Division,
Yeah.
because at the end, a Skrull handed her.
What was her mother called then?
Maria, wasn't she?
Yeah.
I think. Anyway, I hope that's true. I was sure she was called Monica Rambo. But her kind of last thing in One Division was a Skrull showing up and saying that Nick Fury wanted
To see her.
Yeah. Or someone wanted to see her. So either it was Captain Marvel or it was Nick Fury.
Yeah.
So is she in this? I assume she might have been in
She
this.
might be, yeah. Thing is, with
That'd
all
be
this...
a good tell if she had powers, because surely they can't replicate powers.
Yeah, with all this stuff that's been announced and that, it's hard to guess who's going to be in what.
I know, because they just announce people and they don't tell you where or
Yeah.
when they're going to show up.
And when you know the things like the Thunderbolts is happening, we haven't even watched Miss Marvel or She-Hulk yet.
No.
We don't know what's happened in those.
Let me tell you, trying to avoid those spoilers is like craziness.
I know. So it's kind of like we don't know who to guess what's going to be in who or what or where or why.
Yeah.
The only I feel like the last time I was able to really guess who was going to be in something was Florence Pugh in Hawkeye.
Yeah. Well, that's fair.
But the rest of it's kind of like I'm not sure. It's hard to predict. Disney's not being easy.
Yeah. Especially now it's a lot more open.
Yeah.
Like the world, like the Marvel world. So literally anyone could just show up anywhere. Is that the president?
It might not. It might be something like the senator because he's got a similar thing on that. What he's
Yeah.
got on. But you know what else?
That's what I mean.
is-
They could be. Yeah, like you probably are right. They're like targeting like high.
Something
people
that
in
I've
power.
something that looks okay about this that hasn't been. It's been one of Marvel's big sort of discussion points at the minute. It looks like it's a serious thing. It's not going to be full of gags and
Yeah.
loads of jokes. It's going to be like, right, okay, so Earth is literally being invaded without us knowing. We have to take this seriously, otherwise we're going to lose our planet.
It's kind of almost like Winter Soldier, how Hydra had kind of infiltrated Shield and without
Yeah.
them knowing. It'd almost be like deja vu for someone like Nick Fury, wouldn't it? Like, how have we yet again not learned our lesson?
Yeah,
Obviously, this is a different scale because of Skrulls, and
because
it's
that's
a
a
lot
big.
harder to tell. But
Because that's a big complaint that Marvel's been getting at the minute is that they're too focused on making everything humorous, making every
Yeah.
character a joker, and
yeah,
You
there
know.
should be a select few characters that are the jokey type, and then
yeah, especially when you've got people like Deadpool coming into it. You know, we don't need tons of funny
Yeah.
characters. We need just good characters. You know, for all
that's
all
what
the
people. That's what I liked about Nick Fury though. Even in the Avengers movie when you had like the likes of Tony Stark making jokes, and even Thor, even though he was more serious making jokes, he was always like that.
yeah. He still made jokes, but he was serious when he had to
in-
be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, it's just that is Marvel's big problem at the minute is that every character is a joker. It's kind of like we have enough jokers. Let's just make good
Give
characters
us the
first.
seriousness.
Yeah.
Because God help you if the Punisher ever comes into this universe, he'd better be serious.
Well, supposedly Rosario Dawson said he's coming back, so yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's time for celebration.
Also, I'll never get over the fact that he got that scar from a cat.
I know.
That's
The
very-
last time I
that's-
trusted, I lost an eyeball.
And
Cat.
I mean, what a way to lose.
I know. Evidently, Captain Marvel just did its best to disappoint people. No,
I didn't dislike
I'm gonna
that.
get loads of hate
but
for.
I didn't
so-
dislike the fact I couldn't. I don't know. I imagine it was some kind of like crazy like.
Betrayal, and
a
it was
cat.
just a ginger cat.
It's still funny though.
Yeah, let us know what you think down in the comments. We like to talk about this stuff, and we are going to eventually get around to watching
Yeah.
Miss Marvel and She-Hulk, and God, we've got all sorts that we need to watch. It's going to be so hard watching everything coming up because it's just everything is happening at the minute.
It's this time. Everything comes out the same time of year. Why does everything have to come out at the end of the year? It does though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, you've got Game of Thrones, you've got like Lord of the Rings, you've got Marvel, Star Wars is going to be coming, like everything.
Just October. Stop being
Just
awkward.
chill out.
Thank you for watching.
I need to know.